watch them over here on my phone. Phone up and running. Hey, good morning, people. It's Jay Pylon, Cannon Hotep.
What's up? What's up?
How's everyone out there doing? Appreciate y'all for being here. Good. What's good with it, Cannon? How you living?
Doing all right. It's Jay and Cannon in the morning. Hope you
Man,
guys get your coffee, your scones,
this goes.
donut holes, whatever it is you do in the morning. Fucking oatmeal.
Yeah,
Excuse
the
my language.
oatmeal. I'm still a little tired. So you guys, I've been working. Oh, is it live? Are we live?
Are we live?
I hope so. Oh, there it is. It just came in, so I think they didn't catch the first little part. But welcome again, welcome guys, Jay and Cannon. We're early in the morning, Saturday morning. Good morning to everyone. I know Cannon's got to go check out his brother's game. I watched your stream the other day, Cannon. You were talking about um, your brother's accomplishments, and you're gonna make a little compilation video showing some of his routine and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Hopefully, you have a good game. He's playing with a not broken, but he dislocated his pinky or some shit like that.
Ouch!
Yeah, so he in like a cast or something.
He got him in the cast.
They got him in something, but he been playing for the past 2 weeks with the injury. I told him he better
So
suck it up,
that's
put some dirt in it.
put some dirt on it. We appreciate you guys for being here. So you remember, I was gonna start off with this article, right? Where is this article at? I gotta move it on over here. Good morning, Brandon Looney Tunes fan. Appreciate you being here. Um, I'm gonna pull up this little article over here. We're gonna go take a look at it. And I was watching the videos and I was keeping track of what you were working on over there on the stream. I just get off late, so I just started a new job for those that don't know, and not necessarily new. It's the same old thing I've been working with, which is Obamacare. So I just did with a different branch, with a different little company running the Obamacare. So just got started with a different little group. And let me
He's
see.
selling, Jay's selling snake oil to them. I'm joking.
No, I'm not selling no snake oil. It's the same old Obamacare as it's always been. You know,
Obama
the
with
we
now.
I told Cannon we get a lot of Gertrude Johnsons calling in. You know, they want their Obamacare. Say, baby, hook me up with that Obamacare. Say, all right. You know, you have to help them get through the little application and stuff like that. So I don't know. You see on your screen this little thing here. We are outgrowing franchises. I just saw this morning, and the box office, right? You see this on your screen, okay, Cannon? Oh, yeah. I
Um,
guess you might have to work on a. I don't know if I can screen share it to you. So I guess it'd be on your phone or whatever it was.
I'm looking on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit of a delay, but not by much.
Right.
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little article that came up.
Uh,
Audiences are tired of franchises and sequels that no longer make financial or creative sense, signaling a shift in cinematic taste. So this is what we were talking about earlier. I guess last month before that, we talked about a couple times that the this entire superhero genre is kind of fading out because they kind of played themselves. Hollywood played themselves out with the way that they handled everything, basically.
yeah. Yeah.
And
But
and did you go see Blue Beetle?
I did, and I'm not gonna lie. I kind of liked it a little bit.
You liked it? It was all right, and
Yeah, I
it was
thought
a it
it
was a
was
a
funny.
dud at the box office though.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a dud at the box office, but I thought it was kind of entertaining.
It was decent, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was decent. Like it ain't nothing to write home about. Like if it's on it's on Blu-ray now or Prime or whatever. But
Right. It was at the
you know,
theater only a day or
it was,
two.
yeah. And like the only reason I went to see it is because my son wanted to see it. So um, it was watchable, but it wasn't like epic.
Hmm.
You had the whole Latino pride propaganda jumping off on it.
All right.
But yeah, but it was still a cool little movie.
Well,
I would put it along the lines of like Shazam.
yeah. And Shazam, I liked. I mean, the first one was decent, and I couldn't get through the second one. And I didn't like Black Adam at all. You
You
liked
didn't
Black
like Black
Adam.
Adam? I
You
like
liked
Black.
Black Adam a little bit, right?
Yeah, I gave it a good score. I
I
thought
just
Black Adam was good.
I couldn't get into it. It's just too much action and not enough story. It was just ongoing, just this and that, and I was like, dang, was it ever gonna slow down? All right, good morning, Collector's Dream, Orlando, Iceman. Appreciate you guys for being here. Yeah, I think that this is gonna be a fading out genre, slowly fading out. I think that we're gonna see everyone move on to video game movies, right? There's a lot of
I
room to
would like
like,
to see it.
yeah, there's a lot like Metal Gear Solid. You could.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
What's the other one that we like? Splinter Cell and Ghost
So,
Recon. Can you imagine a Ghost Recon movie though?
bro,
Or how huge a Call of Duty movie would be, like with all those characters they've been introducing over the years in Call of Duty, and they
but
put
Ghost
together a
Recon
whole
and
movie.
Splinter Cell, you could put Ghost Recon and Splinter Cell together.
Oh yeah, they could have like an end scene where the two of them meet up.
Because in the video game in Breakpoint, Sam Fisher, there's a whole campaign
Hmm.
with you and Sam Fisher.
That's what I'm saying. Like at the end, you know how they do those cameos at the end of a movie to build up the hype for the next one. They
Yeah,
could
yeah.
they could come out with Splinter Cell, but then introduce at the end that the next part is going to be, Metal Gear, and then the two of them are going to join together. And I mean, fans would go crazy for it.
That'd be
We,
dope.
yeah, because I mean, we got what we got out of the cinematic universe for these superheroes and stuff like that. Is the problem? The main problem that they did is they try to put too much of a spin, too much of a message, too much of hypocrisy, and not enough of the follow the source material.
Right. And that's
If
their problem. That's what they went wrong.
that's where they went wrong. All they had to do was they had the map that's been working. If it's not broke, don't fix it. They said, "Oh, it's not broke, but let's try to fix it by adding this and this and that and the third," until they diluted it till the fan bases was just like, we've seen superhero movies, we're kind of over it,
Yep. I mean, yeah, it's been done to death. Now they doing every superhero movie's doing the multiverse thing,
and
and
clones and all that stuff like that.
yeah, they getting lazy with it.
Right.
It's like, come on, guys, stick with your source material. It's enough of it there. It's enough of a fan base there. If you just stick with the source material, you could, keep it alive. But you know how it is. They just, you know, artistic license. They want to. Every director wants to make their own little mark on some shit that's already been proven, and they just make it worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we was going over that before. They had this one up here. Did you see this one? Too many people can't name a single black British figure from history.
I'm one of them.
But this like, okay, so Queen Charlotte though, right?
Okay.
Queen Charlotte, the Queen of England, right? At
Yeah.
least know her. I mean, this is just what we get into when I was talking earlier when I did with the talk with with between you and everyone else and then Uncle Hotep and same thing I've been harping on is that back in the ancient period or back in the medieval times they had the black nobility mostly out of Dutch and different parts of Europe where they had kings and queens of these figures, and then it's the same people basically like Snoop Dogg. He's got European bloodline. So we talk about these bloodlines. It's like all these same people that we see. Their ancestors is all the same people that we see on TV today. It's the same people related to them. So basically, this whole thing. I know what was it? Was it HBO Max or one of those things that made the little that documentary about the black nobility? What was it? They made the Charlotte, and they also made a black nobility. I guess it came out on Netflix or Amazon or one of those.
Yeah, you talking about Bridgerton? It was on Netflix.
Yo, you're right. It gets so confusing with how many different
And,
streaming
and
services there are.
Charlotte was like the spin-off of Bridgerton.
Right, that's right. But it gets into the black nobility and stuff like that, where you can see that in some of the old paintings. There was a period of time I forgot what it was called, the Letterton time period or whatever. I can correct myself later, but um, when in England and in parts of Europe, they started to um, kind of censor or erase that part of Europe's history where the black nobility ruled and reigned, and so we don't get into that aspect of history anymore. Well, it said a survey of more than 2,200 Brits found 75 respondents admitted to not knowing very much or anything at all about Black history, despite 67 of them saying that they were aware of British history. So that goes back into the Queen Charlotte, and she was a Black Queen of England, and she come from the Black nobility. And that's where we get Charlotte, North Carolina from. I think when we see characters like Jordan Peele and Beyonce and all those people, they're all related to Queen Charlotte,
Hmm.
and they go, that's the same people that are in power today is they come from their ancestors. The same thing when we watch those documentaries. What was it? The Warren Buffett, when they have Warren Buffett and Bill Gates get together and start talking, and then those you go look at their ancestry and you see that those two are second cousins.
Right.
It's all basically it's the same system as black nobility. Whether it's black nobility or European elitism, it's still the same exact system of nobility and kings and queens and stuff like that. Even in today's society, we just don't realize it because we're not up to speed on that kind of things. But that's how it all works. It's just nepotism in play. And then did we? Oh wait, I was getting to this one right quick. It's the days Saturday morning cartoons died. So today is Saturday. What was your favorite Saturday morning cartoon?
Oh, don't get me started on that. Oh, man,
Yeah.
let's see. Y'all ready? This was Canon Hotep's Saturday morning cartoon routine. Let's go to one. Let's do 93. I say go there. So remember back, like you said, TGIF, but then there was that one Friday where TGIF went through all the Saturday morning cartoons.
Was it the Disney one? One Saturday morning, that one
I
or
was,
something else?
this was beforehand, like TGIF, and then like Steve Urkel and Laurel, whoever they decided that year, would go over all of the new cartoons that was going to come on that morning, like the new
Right.
season of
Yeah,
Saturday.
the previews. Yeah, yeah.
So let's see. So Bucky O'Hare,
I
right? Bucky
remember
O'Hare
Bucky
would come on
O'Hare.
like it would come on at like 6 in the morning, right? I would wake up just so I could watch Bucky O'Hare,
Dang.
right? That was my jam.
We'll click on Bucky O'Hare real quick so they can see what he looked like.
Bucky, Captain Bucky O'Hare. I remember the daggone theme song.
Y'all see
After,
him?
or was it 6:30? It might have been 6:30 actually, not 6:30. After Bucky O'Hare came on, Iron Man, the animated series Iron Man would come on.
Hmm.
After Iron Man, what came on after Iron Man? Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
Right, you're right. Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
Cowboys of Moo Mesa was awesome. A lot of people don't
Hmm.
remember this. The Back to the Future cartoon.
Yes, yeah, I got the whole series.
You got the whole series of the Back to the Future cartoon.
Yeah, I got it on DVD and Blu-ray or whatever I got it on. I got the whole
The
Back to
Back
the
to the
Future
Future
series.
cartoon.
That was
Uh,
cool because the live action professor would come in between it. What was that?
yeah,
Whatever his name was.
yeah, and
Professor Brown, Doc Brown.
yeah, Doc Brown. You talking about Christopher Lloyd?
Yeah, Doc Brown.
Uh, what else was it? Not Battletoads. I forgot what
Doc
else. It was.
Brown.
I can't remember. But then it would always end with Beekman's World.
The Beekman's World. Whatever happened to Beekman's World?
I don't know.
Beekman's World.
I think Beekman had more street cred than Bill Nye, but I digress.
Yeah, I watched. I couldn't stand Bill Nye the Science Lie. I would go into the. I would go watch Beekman's World too. I was the same way. I'd be like, oh, I'm watching those Bill Nye. But there's Beekman. I like this character. The rat character was
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
he was
yeah,
legit, wasn't he? They had a
yeah,
lot. I think they had a lot more interesting stuff on Beekman's because they would have that segment where they said you kids at home could try the same thing, or then you can take a picture or send it in and all that kind of stuff. There was like inner. It was like basically it was like a YouTube program prior to YouTube.
yeah,
It felt very much like it wasn't it was like the way the camera was set up and everything, it was like it was just off a camcorder or something. The Beekman's
Captain
World.
Planet, not a Saturday morning cartoon.
Huh?
I'm looking
Captain
at like
Planet.
some. I just looked it up real quick, and look at they trying to say Captain Planet was a weekday giant.
Was it?
Yeah,
I don't
I,
know why.
I,
Oh, let me see.
yeah, a lot of this list was weekday stuff. X Men was not though. X Men was a set man. X Men might have been my favorite. X Men was my favorite Saturday morning cartoon. Jay,
What's up, Sooner D? You excited for the new X-Men? X-Men 96 or 97 is coming out soon.
really?
At
So
the
they take it
start,
back.
hmm?
They taking it back to the old school.
Supposedly so. They supposedly. I mean, I hope they keep it really old school and just keep it the same. I hope they keep it the same because that's what we want. We don't want it, to be, you know.
Yeah. Ooh, Mighty Ducks, the animated series. Mighty Ducks was dope.
Yeah, I've got the Mighty Ducks series too. What was you guys in the comment section's favorite Saturday morning cartoons?
Yeah, I want to know what y'all thought. What y'all like? What's up, Haram? Haram in the building.
So you know who destroyed Saturday morning cartoons, right?
Cool.
The Democrats.
Did they for real?
Yeah, it started with that liberal Peggy Sharon. You know, Peggy Sharon was the original Karen. And
Um.
she was fighting against Saturday morning cartoons in the 1960s. She came up with a plan called the Action Against no Action for Children's Television Act. And so she was trying to push that forward. Then this is a cool story though. Uh, let's see, what was the guy's name? So Democrat Newton S. Minow. You
Mhm.
remember Gilligan's Island, right?
Yeah.
The SS Minnow. So they're clowning that character. He got an award from Barry Soetoro when he got the Medal of Honor from Barry Soetoro, that Minnow guy. He was an elitist snob and he hated Saturday morning cartoons. And basically, what the liberals at the time were wanting was they wanted children's programming to be like NPR for kids. So they wanted them to come in the morning and sit down and be like indoctrinated to whatever the liberal agenda of the day was. So even back in the 60s, right?
Get
So
rid of
they
your imagination.
Yeah, yeah. So then they would be like more prone to avoid, free market ideas or stuff like that. So they would push these ideas on, and they wanted to push these ideas on the kids, and we got that with the MTV's Rock the Vote and all that kind of stuff. Remember when they had those kids, those Nickelodeons, Vote or Die, and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I remember that.
hmm Basically the same thing, right? They would have liberal people come in and say, "Hey, good morning, kids. Yo, make sure you go vote for Bill Clinton," and stuff like that, and be like, "What is this garbage? Why are they telling these kids who to vote for and set them up to be, libs when they grow up?" But the SS Minnow was a knockoff on that Newton Minnow. He called television the vast wasteland, and he that was his big speech back in the day, back in the 60s, and he was in the FCC. He was promoted by JFK. So it was the HR 1677 that was introduced back in 1989 by David Brandt, a Democrat, and that got the ball rolling to kill Saturday morning cartoons. And the way they killed them was they said they introduced no more tie-ins. You know what the tie-ins are, right?
No.
So you sit down, you're watching Ghostbusters, you're eating your Ghostbusters cereal. On the
Um.
screen, you're watching Ghostbusters the cartoon. Next thing you see, Ghostbusters toys
So,
advertised, Ghostbusters cereal advertised. You're good to go. So they said no more of that, right? So now you're watching Alvin and the Chipmunks and they can't advertise Alvin and the Chipmunks plushies. Now you're watching Smurfs, they can't advertise Smurfs or Smurfs toys or Smurfs cereal or Smurfs video games or Smurfs t-shirts. So
mhm,
how's that company supposed to make any money off of all the little stuff? They
mhm.
hindered them, and then they introduced the IE, which is the information. Was it the IE or the EI? EI,
EI.
EI, which is that educational informational programming to be pushed. And basically, all that is cats and dogs in the morning now. You turn on Saturday morning, and it's just a bunch of dogs and dog ads and dog commercials and junk, and
Yeah.
that's it. But that was began with Democrat Reed Hunt, Jack Brandt, not SS Minnow, but whatever that fool's name is, Minnow, Newton Minnow, the original Karen, which was Peggy Sharon,
Mhm.
and Jim Steyer. And Jim Steyer is still in power today. He runs Common Sense Kids Action, and they to this day prevent Saturday morning cartoons from ever coming back because he's funded partially by the Obamas, Clintons, Soros, and all those other bad guys. So they're not going to bring back with those guys in charge, and they have strings tied into the FCC. They're going to make sure that Saturday morning cartoons never comes back.
So Sooner D said Roadrunner and Rhode Island Red. Never heard of Rhode Island Red. Um, Haram said X-Men the animated series was Saturday morning essential. I agree.
Oh yeah, look at those, some good cartoons, right? X-Men animated.
Yeah, Kay says Jim and the Holograms, Pee Wee's Playhouse,
Mm.
Twisted Tales, Felix the Cat, Muppet Babies, just to name a few, Case her age.
I love the Muppet Babies.
Oh, Muppet
Remember,
Babies was great. I still like Muppet Babies.
remember they
Like
had.
I be looking for old Muppet Babies cartoons to watch with my nephew and stuff like that. Like right now, he upstairs watching Bluey. He here for the weekend.
I got the
She
whole
said
Muppet Baby series too.
Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters. I'm going to mention that one, and the Bill and Ted Excellent Adventures cartoon was pretty good.
Yeah, the wacky
Punky
whack.
Brewster. Oh,
Funky Brewster
Punky
had a.
Brewster cartoon.
Yes, she had a cartoon and a live action. She
I
had
remember
both.
the live used to come on Sundays.
Yeah, yeah. The little friend of hers in the series was related to the executives at NBC or whatever, right?
Yeah,
And she went on to be in she went on to be in Urkel, didn't she? And some other stuff.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah, she became the friend in a whole bunch of other series too. And she has a YouTube channel also.
Mm. Haram said Fraggle Rock.
I like watching all those shows.
Come along and play. Ready for another day. I remember Fraggle Rock.
That's why they introduced that EI during that time period in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And what else did they introduce? The video games rating nonsense too. Remember that?
Yeah. I
So
remember
that's
that.
that's what they did. But I mean, for right now, the video game ratings thing it makes sense. But when video games looked like Pac-Man and stuff like that, it didn't make much sense to me. It was just pixelated nonsense. And they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, the kids are gonna go around hurting each other because they were playing these violent video games." They had that discussion in the 80s, back when everything was little, little pong-looking dots on the screen, and you just used your imagination.
But yeah, I mean, but like Saturday morning cartoons, it gave you great imagination. You had good ones, like Pepper Ann was a great one. She was all using her imagination. Doug, always using his imagination. Bobby's World, always using his imagination.
Yeah, the Saturday
Them-
morning cartoons was a great time because basically this was it, and it was no problem. Basically, it was our downtime as little kids from school from the whole week, right? It was
Mhm.
our downtime to relax, eat our cereal, our breakfast with whatever we wanted to put with it,
Yeah,
watch those shows, and then up to a certain time, then we was outside riding around on the bikes, going
yeah.
down to the 7-Eleven or wherever we were headed. We were not just glued to the TV like they were making it sound,
I
and
mean,
just
me and my friends used to act like we was biker mice from Mars sometimes.
right. All the neighborhood kids would get together,
Yeah.
and we would have so we would watch these commercials where they had the super soaker, right? I remember when that came out, there was a kid on the streets. I think it was probably me who had the first super soaker, and I was going to town, and all the kids would come over there and we'd be playing with the super soakers and stuff like that. We would or the you remember the Hot Wheel bikes that you would get and you could ride around
Mm-hmm.
before the power after the Power Wheels or whatever that
Are
was.
you talking about the big wheels?
Yeah, the big wheels. That's what I'm talking about.
Like I don't think our parents understand to this day how far we used to ride, how far we used to be out of the loop in the 90s.
Hmm.
Like we would be miles and miles and miles away from the neighborhood, and I don't think they ever understood that. They had no way of reaching us, right, at all. They just had to trust that we was gonna be back before the street light came on.
Yeah, yeah,
Me
we
and my
were.
friends used to ride to the harbor.
Dang.
That's like a 6-7 mile trip by bike.
Hmm.
I lived that. We be East Baltimore. It'd be everywhere on bikes, bro. And parents they just never batted an eye. Just as long as you was home before the streetlights came on, boy. Oh
You
my
were you were
goodness
good to
gracious.
go.
You was good to go. Like we put miles on them bikes, boy. Goodness gracious. And parents ain't like it wasn't until like I got a pager. My mother bought me a pager. And then like I had to keep a couple quarters on me. So if she paged me, I had to find a payphone and call. That's how old I am, guys. I'm 39. I remember payphones and using them. I had to go find a payphone and call her. You know what I mean? But like, or if she pays me a certain code, I mean, get your ass home. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't think parents understand. Cartoon Network was I love Cartoon Network. Like Fantastic Max over there in the top left.
Yeah,
I used to love watching Fantastic Max.
yeah. Cartoon Network was the response
A pup named Scooby Doo.
that was the response to what all these bills were for the big four networks. So Fox, CBS, NBC, and ABC got hit with that you only have to do educational, informational stuff, right?
Yeah.
And and then when the restrictions kept getting worse, and they kept saying no tie-ins, no children's ads, no this, no that, 20 minutes of that's why TV started becoming Saved by the Bell and all that nonsense. You couldn't have very many cartoons anymore. You had to keep on pushing live action shows. You had to have more live action shows than you did kid shows.
Yeah.
So you had Cartoon Network pop up.
Yeah, I used to watch. Remember, I had Super Chunk. I used to love watching Super Chunk, especially they had a good cartoon.
What
I remember
character is this one? The one with
which
his hair. I've got
that's
him and his
Fantastic Max.
Fantastic Max. Oh, that was a good show. Underdog is this one. Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah,
Josie and the Pussycats.
and that was
This
the
is
thing,
Wacky
though.
Races over here.
He used his imagination.
What were the fur characters called?
The dirty diapers. Which one? I can't see. My camera in the way. I can't see the rest of it.
Oh shoot. Okay.
I had to
Uh,
downsize my camera.
Move it around a little bit and you see.
Oh, that's the Care Bears and shit.
Nah, that's not Care Bears.
It's not Care Bears. It's Gummy Bears. I don't know.
Nah, it's not no gummy bears. It's the fur. It's not the shirt tails. Someone in the chat remember this one?
I can't remember though. I know you're talking about the something tails. I can't think of it.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's the furry. It's the furry. It's like where all these furry characters are together. It's not shirt tails. It's something like that. And
Yeah, short tails. I can't remember what that is called, but yeah, I remember that.
it
Never
was all
watched it.
good. It was all good programming. We had a lot of different crazy shows to watch. I liked Garfield though. Garfield. Remember how crazy Mr. T was? I don't know if you ever watched any of Mr. T.
I did.
And Mr. T would be saying something off the wall. He'd come running out and be like, "That's why fools don't never learn." And he'd be like, "What is
Yeah,
Mr. T even talking about?" He'd just be
right. Yeah.
random.
They don't want kids to get the public service announcement from GI Joe.
It'd be an old.
You know,
He was like He was like the crazy old head on the block. He'd just be popping up all of a sudden. That's why you don't do drugs. Wrong with you, Alvin and the
GI
Chipmunks.
Joe says, "Don't talk to strangers. No one is half the battle."
It'd be random. It'd be real random though. This is
Yeah.
Thundar. Thundar seemed like it was something out the '70s, but it was in the '80s though.
Oh,
It
shit,
was
I thought
pretty
that was
good,
He-Man down there.
huh?
I guess I thought it was He-Man down there.
Spidey and Friends, The Incredible Hulk. So I've got like on my in my system, in my hard drive, and in my library of videos that you can see a little bit behind me. I've got the entire collection of Saturday morning cartoons going. I've got the whole set of everything you could think of. I've got all of them. Every last one. Even the ones from the 50s, the weird strange ones like was it Crusader Rabbit and all that.
Dang.
And yeah, I forget the other ones' names, but 1950s cartoons. Um,
And yeah, Spider-Man the animated series was a Saturday morning cartoon as
oh, the
well.
Rough and Ready show. I got Rough and Ready. I got Chili Willy. I got Lil Dot. I got all that. Casper the Friendly Ghost. Clutch Cargo. Remember Clutch Cargo?
Yeah, 50/50 cartoons. I remember 50/50 cartoons.
Oh,
One of my neighbors had
DuckTales.
50 cartoons. It'd be a bunch of like old Looney Tunes cartoons and stuff on it. Yeah, DuckTales is my jam. I was watching DuckTales the other day.
Yeah, the kids don't watch DuckTales.
I don't like the new one.
The babies don't watch. The babies don't like the kids. I don't know a lot of kids that like the new one, and they don't like the old one either. They just don't like DuckTales. DuckTales, and I mean, and then the really old cartoons like Top Cat and stuff like that. The modern kids won't watch that kind of stuff at all.
I
It
watched
goes too
Top
slow.
I watched Top Cat on Cartoon Network.
Do you know any
He
little kids?
was Cat Spuds McKenzie.
So who you got over there right now? You said you got some little kids
Yeah, I
coming
got
through,
my nephew. My nephew's here with my son. He's here for
but
the weekend.
they don't watch those old school cartoons, do they?
Nah, he want like Puppy Dog Tales, and he want Bluey and Paw Patrol.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know,
telling you, like there's something that they did with the baby food and the chemicals in the air and stuff like that that make the babies and the kids just they want everything like this. It's got to be
like
fast.
my daughter, she was watching Jim like it was a new show.
She did?
Yeah, when she was a kid, like when she was like 4 and 5, she went through the whole season of Jim.
Dang, that
Oh,
is shocking.
she like Jim. She watched the Little Sailor Moon. Like my daughter would watch. She watched Family Matters like it was a new show. I mean, technically it was new to her, but she thought Jim was. She thought it was a new cartoon. She loved.
She loved some Jim and the
Yeah,
holograms.
Because it was on. I think it was on Netflix at the time. But yeah, she loved that.
I know MeTV has Saturday morning on a little bit, but all they've got is like the same old. It's like the really old ones. It's like Tom and Jerry, um, maybe Popeye and Bugs Bunny or something like that.
You would think like retro TV or something like that would do a Saturday morning cartoon spiel.
But I think because the FCC regulations are still in place, they won't allow them to. And that, like I said, that what's his name? What was that thing called?
The Perils of Penelope Pit Stop. I watched that too on Cartoon Network.
Let me look it up. Jim Steyer, that's the Democrat that runs Common Sense Kids Action. They
Okay.
they continue that fight against Saturday morning cartoons. They're still to this day. They're like, no, kids shouldn't be watching Saturday morning cartoons. It's
Kids
bad
had
for
more
their health.
kids had more sense watching Saturday morning cartoons than listening to Cardi B and Ice Spice. Ice Spice did a whole concert with her cooter out.
Yeah, well, because we got TikTok and YouTube right now that if you go on there, the kids are gonna be watching Five Nights at Freddy's and Lil
Mm,
Nas X and all kind of weird stuff.
yep.
With the streaming platforms, they get more, and maybe that was the whole agenda behind it all, behind taking away the Saturday morning cartoons, was to get us into a period of time where where we start to lose our empathy or our ability to connect with one another. Because I felt like it was a national connection thing when we had Saturday morning cartoons. Like all of us went through the same routine of we're gonna jump up in the morning,
Mhm.
come out there, run out there with our pajamas on and stuff, and our house slippers, and get that
Yep.
bowl of cereal ready that we got, whatever our favorite brand was, and then get. Did you ever try the Ghostbusters or the Urkelos?
I never had Ghostbusters or Urkelos because I was poor. No, I
What
wasn't poor.
about
I'm
the
just
bat? What about the
my mother just like
Batmans?
buying that shit. My mother wouldn't buy because she was like, y'all gonna eat this cereal in like 2 days. The boxes were so small. Like me and my sister would have went through that cereal in 2 days.
Speed Buggy, that was a good one too. Well, we would get into what was it? The cereal I liked the most. Oh, the TMNT, the Ninja Turtle cereal. Ooh, I love that.
Again, my mother was like, "No, I'm not buying y'all. Y'all eat too much. I'm not buying these little small cereal." She's like, "So like, Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch was my jam. Frosted Flakes with the bananas in it. That was my jam.
You had
Life
the
cereal. I don't know why I like Life cereal, but I like Life cereal. Um,
did you have the actual ones or the ones from the Hotep? And did you have the actual ones or the ones from the bags, the big bags with
so
Captain
so
Slunch?
so my mother she would get us the bag sometime, but most of the time she got us the box. My father was the one. He was the one that was buying the bags.
I
It's the
knew
same stuff.
I knew one family. I knew one
He would
family that
always buy Fruit Loop, the generic Fruit Loops, the fake Fruit Loops. That was he would get us that all the time.
Fat
And he
Albert
the
was
one that
good
had
too.
the money. He penny pinching.
So I knew this one family where the mom and dad were putting the generic bags into the like they kept the original box, but they was refilling the generic bags. Because I think I went over for an overnight stay or whatever. So they had for the Fruit Loops, for the Fruit Loops, they were pulling out the box because I woke up early and I came in the kitchen and I looked and there was like pouring the bag in there and I didn't say anything to the kids. I was like, dang, it's hard times over here.
When you look back at it, my father had a point though with the bags. He was like, like he's like, it's the same stuff, and look how much more you get.
Out the bags.
He's like, look, you get more in the bags than you do in the boxes. I was like, looking back at it, like, dang, he was right. You got a lot more in the bags. Like, you could feed 10 kids with the bags in the box of cereal.
Man.
You know what I mean? You might be eating, Lieutenant Crunch instead of Captain Crunch, but it tastes like Captain Crunch.
All right, then. I know you gotta get going here in a second. You ready to roll out?
No, you good. I got 30 more.
All right. Yeah, then the Saturday morning cartoons was really fun, and it was a good time. They were really just, I mean, the restrictions they put on there that killed it. They killed it.
I want to know what in the chat, what's your favorite Saturday morning breakfast?
Yeah, what y'all eat for
What y'all have
breakfast?
for breakfast on Saturday mornings? Like my mom, she would get up and cook breakfast sometimes, but like before she even got up to cook breakfast, I already had a bowl. You know what I mean? And I would still eat my pancakes or my French toast, whatever she decided to cook that day. You know. Then I graduated from bowls of cereal to hot pockets. Hot pocket.
My kids don't want any of that kind of stuff. They don't want the hot pockets or any of that. They used to have that kids cuisine back in the day too. You remember that?
Oh yeah,
The
kids was in
kids
that was
microwavables.
yeah.
They
My
were
mother she
good
would
too.
those. Yeah, they was. Yeah, that brownie that if you ain't eat that shit right away, it got all stale and hard.
Yeah, they did. And then they had the one where you could I don't know what it was the pudding or the Dunkaroos and all that kind of stuff they came out with.
Yeah, Kay said she like Pop Tart. Pop Tarts, Pop Tarts was a good one, but
Yeah.
like
You know
it
who
was
created
film.
Pop Tarts?
Who's that?
Bill Post. He
Oh,
worked for Keebler. He was this guy named Bill Post. He was the manager at Keebler. And what
mm-hmm.
happened was the company, what was his company name? It's the other brand. Well, I think it was like the Post brand. Post brand said back in 1964 they introduced that they were coming out with fruit scones, which was going to be the Pop Tarts, right?
Fruit
And
scone.
yeah, they said we're coming out with fruit scone pop ups or whatever they called them.
Uh huh.
And over there at Kellogg's, they were like, shoot, when are you gonna come out with them? And they were like, in 6 or 7 months. And they were like, okay, we got them. So they were asking people, does anyone know how we can make these? And so make something like this. And Bill Post came along and he said, yeah, I can do it. And he was the manager at Keebler.
Mm.
And so he went over there to Kellogg's and he created Pop Tarts. And
Oh
they were
wow.
like, "Oh shoot, let's bring them to market." So they dropped them on market. They dropped them on the market. Now I think Post came out with those Toastums. I don't know if you like Toastums, but that's
Mm.
what they had to come out with afterwards. And theirs weren't as good or as popular as Pop Tarts. And Pop Tarts sold out within a week. They dropped 40,000 cases on America back in 1964, and within like 2 weeks it was sold out. So that what they did back in the 64, I remember reading this, was they put out this article that said, um, we're sorry we goofed, so come and get your Pop Tarts as soon as we can. We're gonna make some more. So America went crazy for them because remember back then having a toaster was also a good convenience too back in
Yeah.
'64.
Yeah.
I think so. Pop Tarts was, I think, released back in November, either August or November of 1964. I'd have to double check on that, but that's where Pop Tarts came from. And the reason that they named it Pop Tarts was based upon pop art, because pop art was popular at the time when you had that pop art picture like of Marilyn Monroe and those other pop art ideas that came out at the time. They said let's just call it pop art, Pop Tarts, after pop art. Just
Hey,
knock off on the play on the huh?
all I know is Pop Tarts are delicious, especially the cinnamon and brown sugar Pop Tarts.
Yeah,
Oh, they're
yeah. The original flavor was cinnamon. Cinnamon. The original flavors, they had five original flavors. Was apple, cinnamon. It was the cinnamon brown sugar one, right? The one you like, and strawberry, blueberry, and I think chocolate. That was the five original flavors, I believe.
gobbledygook in the building. What's the deal, bro? He
What's
said
good?
Fruit
Good.
Loops and unfrosted
Strawberry
strawberry
pop.
Pop Tarts. They had unfrosted Pop Tarts. I've never heard.
Originally they were the original old school ones were unfrosted, and I think some companies still have the unfrosted versions too.
I mean, the frosting was cool, but like it was always the filling. You know what I mean? Dude, can Pop Tarts last as long as Twinkies though?
Pop Tarts and Twinkies. Remember, the companies keep on getting sold. So Kellogg's became Kellanova. I don't know what company owns Kellogg's necessarily. And then who was it that just bought out Twinkies? Twinkies was sold too.
I know it's Hostess that owned it, right?
Yeah, but they got sold. Who'd they get sold to? Was it Kellogg's? Post? Somebody? I don't know. It's just conglomerates buying each other out. So did you see this thing over here on the Daily Beast thing on MSN? So they've been going back and forth on. Let me see. See this? I don't know if you
Uh,
can see it on your
uh,
screen or not. They've been
live.
going back and
I,
forth on taking away the dislikes, taking away the option to dislike, and taking away the option to comment. Because usually, yeah, on MSN, across MSN, they've been taking it away because people have been like hammering all these garbage articles that they put out.
they want an echo chamber. That's what they
Right, they
want.
want an echo chamber. So this says why libs of TikTok is a ticking time bomb. Opinion by the Daily Beast. Doesn't even say who the buy writer is. Who the heck is Daily Beast? Right? We know that there's an owner over there, but who the heck is the buy right? Who wrote this up? Was it AI? So see, you
Probably.
can't see the dislikes. So I guess there's an area where you can go probably to download and be able to see how many people disliked it. And probably it says 4,000 dislikes, right?
How
Because you
can one
see the
person just? How can one person with a Twitter and Instagram feed just make everybody uncomfortable, like every liberal uncomfortable like that? Lives of TikTok just basically like, look, you posted this on your social media, and all I did was repost it,
all you did was repost it, and then that's the problem.
and y'all look nuts.
And then they said it said it's easy to write it off as just another far right anti blah 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 social account.
It's their words. It's their words. It's not like Libs of TikTok is doing commentary on a video.
Yeah,
They not
right.
doing anything. They just literally like, yo, listen to this crazy person rant.
That's what the comment section says. They're over here saying that the posting of the videos of whacked out wokesters is a ticking time bomb says more about the content of the videos than the person posting them for everyone to see. So like it would be the same thing. You know, they have that insane right wing watch page that gets their panties in a bunch for people saying they love Jesus. So there's I mean there's different spots that you can have. Libs of TikTok is just, just showing you these whacked out clowns saying crazy stuff. So if you don't like what they're saying, it's coming out of their mouths.
Right.
And there's, like you said, there's no commentary on it. You just posting whatever they said. And it's the same thing when they say they come on there like the was it cat turd that shows it, right? And then some buffoon sits there and says, well, my president doesn't fall down steps. And then it says, oh, really? And it shows Biden falling down the steps, right?
Right.
It's like you're just posting what their hypocrisy is, their nonsense, because they just want it both ways. So they've taken away the option to click dislike on all these horrible articles that MSN pushes.
Oh, they memory hole in comments already. Kay said her comment disappeared. Jimmy Doss Hotep in the building.
What's good with it, Jimmy?
The frosting takes away from the filling, which is actually delicious. That's what Gobbledygook says about the Pop Tarts. But yeah, like Lives of TikTok isn't doing anything. Like it's just they just reposting. It's nothing different than what we do on Twitter, where we see something and we just repost it.
Reposting the post.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now sudden because it's like, wait a minute, like they trying to do damage control on the nonsense. Because
Hmm.
when you put a mirror back on somebody, right,
Yeah.
and show their flawed logic, it's not a good feeling.
Well, unless they don't want to own up to it. If you said, "Oh, Jay, you were wrong about this," and then you showed it, if I was actually wrong about it, I was like, "Yeah, my bad. Okay, I got that wrong."
Right.
But
Exactly.
that's not possible when people are indoctrinated into these certain ideologies that they have to always be right about, though.
Yeah.
Or the echo
Not
chamber. This is what the MSN and Yahoo and all these other, news agitators want, aggregators. It's aggregators, right? They want to
mm,
put out there into the public, and then the public says, "No, I didn't like that," voted down on it or commented on it. Then they come back through and eliminate the comments and take away the take away the ability to press thumbs down. It's the same thing that YouTube was pushing too.
right. It is the YouTube pushing. They still pushing.
They don't want anyone to voice something that differs from the official narrative.
Right. That's exactly what it is. So now you want to we got to get rid of the downvote. Like for what? Why? You don't want people that come to your site to see you get throttled in your own website in your own opinion piece.
No, you're right.
Like you
I,
should learn from that.
I feel
You should,
like everything started getting worse once we got, well, to me it feels like a lot of stuff started getting jacked up when we had um, the Barry Soetoro administration come in. I think that when he came in, a lot of these groups that were already in place, they just started have springboarding more people that with stricter regulations to jump into each of those from that administration. Kept pushing for more of those people to be at the highest positions in those other spots, and we saw that whenever they drop those Twitter files too, where there's direct communication between, oh, we got to censure everybody. And the fact they were bringing that, they're going to bring that up with what the Supreme Court,
mhm.
with about how do they want companies to go about it, regulating what the masses say or don't say. We're in a real dystopian George Orwellian 1984 scenario now, where everyone has to say the exact same thing, everyone has to believe the same things, And that kind of regulation or that kind of push happened when we got Barry Soetoro in office, and with his administration and the different people that they were putting in place. Like I just mentioned, Jim. What was his character's name? Jim Stour, I think.
Hmm.
Common Sense Kids Action, who
Yeah.
to this day prevents Saturday morning cartoons from coming back. But you look at the funding. You got your Sam Bankman Frieds out there making sure that these guys stay funded. You got your George Soros characters making sure these guys stay funded so
The
that they
funny
could
part
push
is
whatever
that
the go ahead.
it's only on network television, like the television stations that they
Right.
can quote unquote control, I guess you can say.
Yes, because that's over the airwaves. Those
Right.
are over the federally the whatever it's called, federal communications. That's a part of like
See. Yeah.
yeah, ABC, NBC, was it ABC, NBC, CBS,
That's an
and
NBC.
Fox.
Yeah, Fox.
Your four major companies.
Yeah.
So they're tightly regulated on what they can air and what they can't air. But you don't see them. This is the hypocrisy of it, though. You don't see them tightly regulating tie-ins when it comes to sports,
Right.
because we're all gonna like when the Super Bowl comes along, it's gonna be on one of those four big networks, so that the most eyeballs can see it. You want the most people because not everybody has cable, not everybody has streaming. Some people are still over the air. You got your digital antenna. You got a digital antenna at your house too?
No.
Oh, you don't?
Mm-mm.
So what do you got? Just streaming and cable?
Yeah, I got rid of every fucking thing. I just got streaming. I just got streaming. I don't even got cable.
Hmm.
I got
Cause I
I got
know
an internet connection, and I just got streaming.
I
That's
went
it.
the I have
I take that back. Like I got YouTube TV. I don't know how I got YouTube TV. I'm not paying for it. I don't know who. Maybe my father was paying for it. I don't know. But I got YouTube TV, and like sometimes I'll turn on YouTube TV, and it's got like network shit.
have a great day, Orlando. Appreciate you for coming through. Barry S. and his boyfriend Big Mike. Appreciate you, Sooner D. It's just these conglomerates that want to have a stranglehold over communication with the masses and how they want to push things, but it benefits themselves. So you take, for example, who creates those EI programs? That's that's a section of Hollywood that's run by those same guys, though the Jim Stoyer's peoples and that kind of stuff. The people I just mentioned. That's the
Yeah,
people that
yeah, the
runs
cheap
those.
stores.
Yeah, that's the people that run those programs to where you're going to sit there and look at dogs all day long. Which I don't mind a dog program here and there, but that's basically all that Saturday morning
Yeah,
has become nowadays. If I went and turned on the TV right now and put on ABC, NBC, CBS, what would be on there?
right. Let's watch Fail Army 1,000 times.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I want to
Let's
see
watch
something different.
Ghosts 1,000 times.
Now but they don't put that type of hindrance on the sports stuff. When you turn on a sports program, don't they sell jerseys during it? Don't they
Yep.
say, "Oh, if you like Travis Kelsey's moves out there, make sure to go pick up his jersey. Order it here online." And then a Pizza Hut commercial comes on, and they've got the same football player that you just seen that you're watching on the game. He's in there advertising the pizza. That's a tie-in. That's a tie-in to that brand, which is NFL or MLB or whatever you want to say. So there's tie-ins allowed for them, but not allowed for. And they do the same thing with the sports for kids. The sports for kids program comes on too, like on
Yep.
Fox and other spots. So
Yep.
that type of I don't know. It's just garbage the way that they push it. Like I don't mind it, but I'm just saying like that's the hypocrisy of it. You want it, you say, oh, it's okay for this, but it's not okay for the other. Why isn't it okay for the other then?
Right.
That's
Exactly.
what that's all I'm getting at because I don't mind that they're showing a tie-in for your sports equipment while you're watching sports because the programming. So see, as an advertiser, that's what I would want to do, and that's what they were thinking too. I put out He-Man. I put out the He-Man cereal. I put out the He-Man shirts. I put out the He-Man what else toys while you watching He-Man. You're the viewer of that program. Obviously, you're interested in He-Man.
It's called capitalism.
Free market. The free ability to do what you need to do in your free market. I'm
Uh,
supposed to get some touring in today, hopefully.
yeah, I'm about to take mine before I leave.
How you liking it?
K got some deep cuts, yo. Hammerman and Kid and Play cartoon. Hammerman was my jam. I think it was like 1991 when Hammerman dropped. I used to watch Hammerman and then go outside in my parachute pants and my. I didn't have any MC Hammer shoes, so I would put on. I would put on my LA Tex.
Oh
I would put
man,
on my LA Tex and I would go outside and I would jump off the transformers and then act like I was parachuting down to the ground like Hammerman.
we were too poor to have any kinds of those fancy shoes. You know, I don't even know what we had, but they were the $5 shoes, whatever. I also got my shoes from Kmart and Goodwill and places like that. And
Oh,
my
okay.
dad wouldn't get me any nice shoes at all. In fact, my first pair of nice shoes, was whenever the Shaq Pump. That was my first pair of nice shoes.
Reebok joint?
Huh?
The Reebok.
Yeah, the Reebok Pump with the nitrogen cartridge. So you put a
Yeah.
nitrogen
Oh,
cartridge
I
in it,
remember
and then
that.
you filled
Yeah,
it up,
I had them.
and then they blew up. Boy,
Yeah.
the kids went crazy. Actually, they wasn't kids because my first it was like my senior year in high school when I got those joints,
I had
and I
the LA.
came.
I had the LA Gears with the light in the back.
Yeah, they were
You
like
could.
the fourth or fifth generation Shaq shoes with the pump.
I remember them joints.
I
I
think
remember.
he was with the Lakers at the time or something like that.
I don't remember.
It was after the
Was
Orlando Magic
was
years.
was it for the Magic? All I know is I had a pair of them. I had a pair of them. I had the LA Gears that had the. I guess it was LA Tex as well. Where I
Hmm.
had both. I had the LA Gears that had the like light ups on the side that was built in, and then I had the LA Tex where you could take the light out. You had to
Dang.
change the battery in them, else they would go. They would go dead. Oh man, that is crazy. How many people had play shoes and school shoes? Kay said her dress up shoes was in Buster Brown's. Ooh. How many people had play shoes and school shoes? Like when I came home, if I was going outside to play, I had to take off my shoes that I went to school in
Right.
and put on play shoes.
I think we had that too. They was just both poor people's shoes.
And play clothes. They had to take
Yeah,
off
play
clothes,
clothes. Yeah, go get on your play clothes before you go
put on
outside.
play shoes. Yeah.
Take
Don't
off
come in
those
the
school
house.
clothes.
Don't come in the house dirty with your school stuff on. It was a problem.
We had I had a lot of stuff from my backyard, so a lot of kids would just come over. Well, not a lot of stuff, but just I think because everyone was poor and I was poor along with them, so I had the whatever that was the metal slide and stuff like that. Whatever is that called? What is that called?
Did you say it was? Oh, slip and slide.
The metal one, the metal with the slide and the swings and stuff like that. I
Oh, the
had that in
monkey
the
bars?
backyard. I don't remember what it's
Or
all it's called.
the jungle gym?
Something like that. But it was just a regular poor person one. But all the other kids had one, so came running over there to the house to play on it. So they'd be in my backyard, and we'd be back there playing baseball.
Yep.
If we lost our baseball, we played with soda cans. So we was throwing the soda cans,
Yeah,
launching
we
them with a
never played
baseball
with
bat.
baseballs because we played baseball. There was too many houses around, so like, cause like yeah, row home. So what we did, which didn't make sense because it didn't matter. We might as well have fucking played with a baseball. We would go to the store, the corner store on Baltimore Street, and get lacrosse balls,
Wow, that's a good idea.
the Indian rubber ball. There was $1, so we would go over there and get a lacrosse ball out of the corner store, and we would
Remember,
use them every day because it's rubber and we cracking them. I mean, them things we sent. We had to go like the street over to go get and find the ball. Sometimes
did you want to go play baseball, or you always wanted to play football?
I played baseball for 1 year. I was a horrible hitter. I was a horrible hitter. I couldn't hit the ball to save my life, but I was a good back catcher and a good outfielder. That was
What was
like
it with the ball? With the ball, you couldn't see it.
I just didn't understand the mechanics of hitting the ball. Like I could swing when I connected, it sent, but I just didn't have like the hand eye coordination for baseball wasn't there. Like back catcher, I was a good back catcher, and I was a good outfielder. Like when
Man,
it came, doing that stuff, throwing the ball, catching the ball, stuff like that. But when it came to hitting the ball, I was terrible.
yeah.
I am sure lost a couple of games for everybody.
Did you did you see that Bobby Knight died the other day?
Yeah, I did
Coach
see that.
Knight.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Coach Knight. I remember watching him on TV, and he would what was he throwing those chairs all the time?
On the chair, I say he always had a temper tantrum.
They would air it though. They would replay it throughout the day, and then I used to get those VHS tapes they would have the sports bloopers and outbursts or whatever it was called. Sports
Mm.
Illustrated, sports bloopers, and outburst tapes on VHS. I'd get those, and Bobby Knight would be one of the highlights of those too.
Matter of fact, like going back to like the baseball thing, this is what we had in the '90s. Like, in order to play baseball, because this was like it was a PAL league,
Oh,
so it was
okay.
PAL Police Athletic League. Um, we had to do a book report every week, and if the
Dang.
book report wasn't done and you didn't have good grades, they would not let you play. And this was I was in second grade
Yeah.
or
So you
third
had the
grade.
book reported up.
Yeah, like little dumb books,
Okay.
you know, like Alexander and a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
They
Books
didn't
like
come out in my day. We had Jane and Spot and all that.
yeah, exactly. So it was like those type of books and stuff like that. We just do a book report on it, like just one like a one pager, and then we had to turn it in every I think like every Thursday or something like that.
Wow.
And then we had our games on Saturdays. Like literally had our games right. Like I could walk to the field. Like I just walked the block over and I was at the field. You know, gunshots and all.
They said the gunshots and all.
No, the OGs they kept it. They kept it cordial while we played baseball. They wouldn't bring none of that nonsense over there. But their field was known for catching a body or two.
Oh, that book came out back in '72 by
Well, Miss.
Judith Vorst, Alexander, and the terrible,
Oh
horrible,
yeah,
no good, very bad day. And I never even saw it until the 2000s.
yeah. I heard about. No, yeah, I read. That was a. I couldn't. They did a movie about it, but yeah, the book was. I was. I got first or second grade when I read the book.
Dang, I was on Curious George and Bernstein Bears and stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't. I didn't have. I had one of the books that they kept promoting real hard. Was that Where the Wild Things Are? They promoted that when I was a little kid a whole lot. That came out in the '60s.
Matter of fact, before I get out of here, I was watching Family Matters the other day, right?
Yeah, we
And
need to get
apparently
in. We need to do a deep dive into Family Matters sometime because they got some good stuff in there.
they do, but I must have never watched the first couple of episodes.
Hmm.
Like I remember when Judy went upstairs and never came back.
Yeah,
There was another little light skinned girl in the first episode, and she was gone.
another little light skinned girl.
Yeah, I thought I was in a Mandela effect. I said, "Who's this little light skinned girl? I've never seen this little light skinned girl." I all remember it was this big thing about Judy,
Uh-huh.
and Judy went upstairs one day and she never came back. We never seen Judy again. But I was watching like the first episode of Family Matters, maybe the first two,
Hmm.
and this little light skinned girl was on Family Matters, and I'm like, "Who's this little light skinned girl?" And I'm like, I've never seen her in none of the. And then like, I think it's episode two or episode three, she was gone, and then it was Judy, and then Judy was gone. I'm like, yo, what happened to these characters? Where did they go? Oh my goodness gracious, yo. And then I just I used to watch Perfect Strangers, so I already knew that Harriet had worked, with Balky and them. But yeah, we need to go. We need to do a deep dive on Family Matters.
the episode. The
We need to
episode of
do an F episode one day.
we have to do it over down Rumble. But the episode I was thinking is crazy. Well, a couple of them in Family Matters. One was the one where they're at that school and Laura wants to open up a what is it? A black African American studies group either during school or after school or some junk like that.
Mm,
And I was thinking my conspiracy theory on that was that Urkel wrote those letters on that. Remember when she opens up the locker
yeah,
and it's got bad words on the back of it, and
yeah.
everyone's looking shocked. I'm like, Urkel did that because he loves him some Laura. Ain't no way in the world that a school in Chicago, in Chirac, with all black kids is gonna go put that on
Right.
Laura's locker.
Yeah. Urkel had a
It was
moment.
Urkel.
Urkel had a moment. All right.
Urkel went over there and wrote those bad words on her locker to get that class to get going through.
Now Laura like 350 pounds now.
Who? What is it?
Real life, she big. She a biggin.
Is she? Is she a big girl
Yeah.
now?
You see the reunion? Yeah, she a big girl, boy.
Is she? But
Yeah.
I appreciate you, Ken. It was a good time, man. We'll have to do it again sometime, man. So I've been working like crazy. I plan to do a ball card stream later today when I can, but I'm back with the Obamacare. Basically, I'm
See, I mean,
getting people hooked up. My hours are gonna be 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
damn.
Monday to Sunday.
Good Lord. Good Lord. Go get that
So
money.
so I'll see y'all in. No, I mean I'll see y'all when I see you at different points in time because they were like, I'll see you. See, tell your family and friends you'll see them in in January or February or one of those months.
Good Lord. And also, we got to get a movie reviews done.
Man, I got the little rap song for it and everything.
You got the
It's
what?
the rap song I sent you. The Hotep
Oh
movie
yeah, yeah,
reviews
yeah,
rap song.
yeah. We gotta do it. Yeah, we gotta record a Hotep movie reviews. You
Do
tell me
you
which one we're gonna do.
do you got time to put together a little montage of us chopping up about the movies?
Oh, I was supposed to
Oh,
do
we
that for
gotta bring in let's bring back I know you did a I didn't get to chop it up with AK. We have to
mm,
bring back AK again when we can.
yeah, definitely. He said he was always down to come back on, so
Maybe we can bring him in with the when we do the review movie review. I'm sure he's seen some movies too.
yeah, yeah, definitely. He a cool guy. He a cool guy to talk to.
Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that thumbs up. Appreciate it. Good looking out, people. Thank you all for being here. I'm Jay Pylon. That's Cannon Hotep, aka Aaron Donald. But he said don't mess with them about this Aaron Donald stuff anymore. He said what he said in the stream the other day. We
Cool.
appreciate y'all. Hotep and Bill, stay up, people. We'll holler at you. God bless.
Salute.